Chosen one, pause and breathe. Heaven itself has drawn a line through time to reach you in this exact moment. It may look like coincidence that you have found these words, but it is not chance, it is a divine interruption. The noise around you has been silenced so that your spirit can hear what your heart already knows. You were never made to disappear into the crowd. Today something inside you begins to stir awake. Deep in your chest you feel it, the quiet knowing that your life carries a weight far beyond ordinary days. People may overlook you. Some may mock or misunderstand. Yet a whisper refuses to fade. I was created for more. That whisper is no random thought. It is the eternal call of the one who shaped you before the beginning of time. You are not owned by this world. Picture your life as a scroll hidden in heaven, written long before your first breath. Your name was spoken into eternity and sealed there. Every lonely night you endured, every hidden battle, every tear no one saw, none of it has been wasted. You have been refined like gold, forged in a fire that only the chosen survive. See it now, a soldier standing alone before the king, steady and waiting for orders. Others may pass by without noticing, but in the courts of heaven the angels lean close and whisper, "This one is marked for an assignment." That soldier is you, separated, trained, and called to awaken. I once knew a young man who worked faithfully while others chased applause. He often questioned his own value, unseen and overlooked. Yet while he felt forgotten, heaven was sharpening him. Then, in a single season, doors opened so suddenly that he realized the waiting was never punishment. It was preparation. His story mirrors yours. Delay is not denial, delay is design. Have you wondered why your heart sometimes feels heavy? It is because you were never meant to live a casual life. You carry a light that unsettles darkness. The storms that rise against you do not come because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to the enemy. Your very presence shifts atmospheres even when you say nothing. That is why life has demanded more of you than of others. And now, listen closely. A door has opened before you. This is not simply inspiration, it is transformation. You are standing at the threshold between who you thought you were and who heaven declares you to be. Step forward, and everything changes. Remember the promise in Philippians 4 verse 13, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." Do not live small. Do not bow to fear or failure. You will carry with grace what once felt impossible, because heaven's power is your strength. If these words awaken something in you, if you sense that this is more than chance, do not hide the light. Share it. Let others hear what you are hearing. Leave a simple sign below, even a single number, a prophetic mark that says, "I hear, I receive, I am chosen." This is not for the casual listener. This is for those who will rise when others sleep, who will carry a torch while others hide. The world is about to witness what heaven has always known. You were never ordinary. The fire inside you can no longer be contained. Like a seed breaking open in the dark soil, your breaking season has prepared you for growth. You will not shrink back. You will no longer wonder if you are enough. Heaven has already spoken its verdict. You are set apart for something greater. Walk forward with courage. Lift your head. Step boldly into the new chapter written for you. The world may try to keep you in yesterday's labels, but heaven calls you by a new name. And as you rise, others will rise too. Your awakening is not just for you, it is for every soul your life will touch. You have worn rejection like a hidden cloak, felt it in classrooms, friendships, even within your own family. The sting of being misunderstood shaped you more than applause ever could. What felt like abandonment was in fact confirmation. You were being separated for something different. Think of clay in a potter's hands. The clay cannot understand the pressing, the stretching, the dizzying spin. Yet the potter already sees the finished vessel. Every closed door, every whispered "you don't belong" was God shaping you. He was not punishing you, He was positioning you. Rejection has its own language, and you have learned it. You know the look of eyes that do not welcome you, the tone of voices that try to reduce your worth. But heaven has always spoken a different story. Your identity was settled long before their opinions were born. I once heard of a young woman who never fit anywhere. Every group she tried to join seemed to push her aside. Years later, she discovered her calling was to create what had never existed. The rejection that wounded her became proof that she was meant to pioneer. Think of Joseph, sold by his brothers, thrown into pits and prisons, misunderstood again and again. Yet each rejection moved him closer to the throne prepared for him. Without betrayal, there would have been no Egypt. Without Egypt, no deliverance in the famine. Psalm 118 verse 22 declares, "The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." That is your story. You were not overlooked by mistake. You were rejected by design. Like the cornerstone that bears the weight of an entire structure, you will carry strength that others cannot. A torch does not shine in a room filled with daylight. But in the midnight hour, its flame becomes unmistakable. You were made to shine in the dark places others avoid. That is why rejection followed you. Heaven refused to let you settle where your fire would be hidden. Rejection has carved resilience in you. It stripped away illusions and anchored your worth in God alone. Others may crumble when applause disappears, but you have learned to walk in silence. Your value cannot be stolen by man, for it was given by God. So what you feared most has been your hidden teacher. It proved that no matter who walks away, God remains. Even when doors close, heaven opens. Being pushed aside by people is often heaven's way of pulling you into destiny. Chosen one, this is your moment. Lift your eyes. Your story is only beginning, and heaven is already applauding. Step into the life that has been waiting for you all along. Chosen one, the very things that tried to break you have been the same forces guiding you toward the arms of destiny. Wear every rejection like a medal of honor. Do not despise it. Every time someone said no, heaven was quietly writing yes. Every circle that shut you out only gave God room to prepare a table with your name engraved on it. And when the time of your rising comes, the same voices that once pushed you aside will stand in wonder at what the Lord has built on the very stone they once refused. Your story will never be determined by the people who slammed the door. It is written by the one who holds the keys to every door. What human hands withhold can never cancel what heaven has spoken. The hands that turned you away unknowingly nudged you closer to the path designed for you since before time began. So lift your head. The sting of rejection is temporary. The strength it builds is eternal. A day is coming when you will look back and thank God for every circle that excluded you, because without those closed spaces you would never have discovered the crown prepared for your head. Remember the nights when silence roared louder than any storm? You lay awake staring into the dark, asking questions no one could answer. Tears slid across your cheeks, hidden from every watching eye. Yet heaven listened. Every unspoken cry was gathered like treasure. Each sigh became a line in a book that will never fade. Those silent hours were not wasted. They were prayers etched into eternity. Loneliness loves to whisper that you are forgotten. But the truth is this: the hidden battles are the ones heaven watches most closely. While others celebrated their victories loudly, you fought your battles in the quiet. While others shouted about their breakthroughs, you whispered through your pain. And God saw it all. The secret weight you carried is not proof of weakness but evidence of calling. The tears you thought disappeared into pillows became rivers that watered the field of your destiny. Think of Hannah, year after year mocked and misunderstood. Her quiet anguish became the birthplace of a prophet. Pain gave birth to her prayer, and her prayer gave birth to Samuel, the one who would anoint kings. So it is with you. Your sleepless nights carry more weight than you know. They are the soil where greatness germinates. I once heard the story of a man who labored faithfully by day and wrestled with doubt by night. He felt invisible. Yet the very night he considered giving up, a scripture he had never noticed leapt from the page and broke the silence with sudden assurance. That moment became the turning point of a ministry that reached thousands. It is always the darkest night that gives birth to the brightest dawn. Listen to the words spoken through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 16. Restrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your work will be rewarded, declares the Lord. Heaven has heard every cry. Your hidden service, your unseen sacrifices, your quiet endurance, none of it will go unrewarded. You will not walk away empty-handed after carrying such weight in faith. Some of those sleepless nights were not even about your own struggle. They were moments of intercession. Heaven trusted you with burdens for others because you were strong enough to hold them until their breakthrough came. That is why you sometimes felt drained without reason. You were standing in the gap for battles no one else could see. Picture yourself as a lone candle burning in a silent room. No spotlight, no applause, just steady light. Yet that single flame was enough to shatter the darkness. That is what you have been, quiet, consistent, unseen, but essential. Now I invite you to respond. Write this simple declaration in the comments. I choose light.
Why?
Because putting those words into writing aligns your heart with the truth that your silent nights were never wasted. By typing them, you turn private tears into a public testimony. You declare to yourself and to the unseen world that darkness has not won. Never underestimate this act. Words carry power. When you speak or write, I choose light, you break agreement with despair and choose hope. You step into the promise that, though weeping may endure for a night, joy will come in the morning. This is more than participation, it is transformation. Your silent nights were classrooms. They trained you to endure. They tuned your ear to hear God's whisper. They planted in you a compassion for others who weep in secret. One day you will not despise those nights, because they shaped the depth of your soul. Chosen one, hear this clearly. The world may not have seen your tears, but heaven did. And heaven has already prepared a harvest for every seed you sowed in secret. What tried to break you will not define you. What you carried will not crush you. It will crown you. Your story is not endless sorrow, it is a sacred exchange. Every silent night became an altar where God collected your tears and turned them into oil for your future. The heaviness you felt was never weakness. It was the weight of a mantle being placed upon your shoulders. Those nights were not wasted, they were an investment heaven will multiply. Nothing endured in secret goes unnoticed by the one who sees in secret. Just as the roots of a tree grow deeper in darkness before branches ever touch the sky, your unseen struggles have been anchoring you for a coming season of fruitfulness. What looked like delay was actually God securing your foundation so that when you rise, you will never fall. Your presence carries a weight you often overlook. Have you sensed how a room changes when you enter? Sometimes conversations stop. Sometimes people grow uneasy. Sometimes hostility stirs without reason. This is not about who you are in the natural. It is about what you carry in the spirit. The light within you unsettles darkness. The enemy recognized the mark on your life long before you understood it. That is why attacks came so early. Darkness moved quickly to silence what it feared. But every blow meant to destroy you has only awakened the fire inside. Like embers hidden under ash, your flame never died. It has waited for the breath of God to turn it into a roaring blaze. Remember how Jesus unrolled the scroll of Isaiah and declared, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me." Those who listened were astonished, not merely by his words, but by the authority that came with them. The same is true of you. People may not fully grasp why they respond strongly, whether in admiration or resistance, but they sense the anointing you carry. I once met a young man who thought he was simply awkward in social gatherings. Later he discovered it wasn't awkwardness at all. It was the clash between the light inside him and the shadows around him. His presence stirred what was hidden, not because he tried, but because he carried an authority they could not explain. This is your reality. When you carry heaven's fire, you cannot help but reveal what is false. The apostle reminds us that light exposes darkness. Your life itself becomes a testimony, a beacon, a quiet flame that refuses to be hidden. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The very rejection that once wounded you has become the proof of your calling. What once looked like loss is the doorway to a destiny that cannot be stolen. Your hidden nights have forged a strength the world cannot understand. And now, heaven invites you to step forward. The crown is ready, the dawn is breaking, and your light will not be contained. In his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4 verse 6, Paul reminds us, "For God, who said, 'Let light shine out of darkness,' made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ." This light inside you is not small or fragile. It is the same light that first shattered creation's chaos. Darkness notices it and shudders. You are not carrying a borrowed glow. You bear the imprint of God's own glory. Think of a lighthouse on a storm-tossed coast. It does not apologize for piercing the night. Its purpose is to guide, to warn, to protect. You are that lighthouse. When people back away, when some resist you without explanation, it is often proof that your light is doing exactly what it was made to do. Your very presence reveals what others prefer to keep hidden. Yes, it can feel lonely. Carrying light costs something. You may crave acceptance only to find you do not blend easily with spaces where compromise rules. But hear this, separation is not rejection, it is assignment. Darkness cannot celebrate what exposes it, and compromise cannot embrace what convicts it. You may remember seasons when people grew distant, when smiles faded or conversations slowed. That was not your failure. It was their spirits responding to the oil you carry. The purity you pursue awakens conviction in hearts not yet ready. This is part of the hidden weight of being chosen. Picture a sword drawn from its sheath, gleaming, sharp, impossible to ignore. That is how your light operates. Even in silence, you are felt. Even absent, you are noticed. You have been marked as one who unsettles darkness. Do not resent it. Do not wish it away. The same light that causes some to retreat will draw others who are desperate for hope. They will recognize, in you, the proof that another way is possible. The clash between light and dark will follow you through many seasons. But remember, you do not stand in weakness. The very Spirit that raised Christ from the grave lives in you. You are not easily shaken or silenced. Chosen one, let your light disturb what it must. You were not created to make the world comfortable. You were created to make the world see. There is a cost to being chosen, and you know it. While many take the easy road, you have been called to the narrow path. Some days the weight feels as if it might break you, yet you are still standing. That strength is not your own. It is grace given so that you can endure. Picture a runner carrying a torch through a long relay. The crowd cheers at the finish line, but most never witness the lonely miles, the aching muscles, the moments when the flame nearly dies. You are that runner. You have carried a fire others could not bear, borne a cross many refused. It has been heavy, but it has been holy. You may wonder why others seem to live effortlessly, laughing without depth, chasing pleasures without pause. But your road demands more because you are chosen. The discipline you feel is not punishment, it is preparation. What others escape, you are called to face. What others avoid, you are called to carry. Think of Moses, raised in Pharaoh's palace yet destined for the wilderness. He could not settle where others settled, because heaven had marked him for more. Or Esther, who wore a crown but carried the weight of an entire nation. To be chosen is to carry a burden the world cannot understand. The Lord thundered in Exodus 19 verse 5, "If you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession." You are that treasured possession. The cost of obedience is real, but so is the inheritance. You may feel stripped of comfort, yet you are clothed in favor. Pressed by trials, yet surrounded by covenant. I once knew a young woman who walked away from comfort to follow the whisper of God. Friends called her foolish. Family said she was wasting her life. But in her sacrifice she found a joy they could not explain. What she carried was heavier, but what she received was far greater. Her story echoes yours. Chosen ones are not called to comfort, but to crowns. If these words water the dry ground of your soul, tend to the tree that feeds you. Streams stay alive because rain replenishes them. Subscribe so this flow of encouragement continues to reach you. Tap like and share so the living water does not stop with you but flows to others who thirst. And if your heart is stirred, you may give, not out of obligation, but as a seed planted in fertile soil. No seed is wasted. Each becomes oil for the lamp, keeping the flame alive for those searching in their midnight hour. If giving isn't possible, know this: your listening, your sharing, your prayers are also oil for the flame. Every act, large or small, matters. The weight of being chosen is heavy, but when we carry it together, it becomes bearable. You are not walking this path alone. Across the world, others hold their own torches. When our flames unite, the night cannot stay dark. So move forward with courage. Embrace the cost as proof of your crown. You have been chosen, not because the road is easy, but because your spirit is strong enough to endure. Heaven smiles on every sacrifice, promising that nothing surrendered to God is ever lost. Every tear, every lonely step, every comfort laid down is building a kingdom legacy that will not fade. Yes, there were moments you felt like turning back, when the weight was almost too much. Yet something inside you would not let go. That resistance is heaven's hand holding you. But to be chosen is not permission to drift. There are seasons when mercy whispers and seasons when mercy warns. You now stand at a critical threshold. Each decision shapes not only your future but the generations after you. One more step toward rebellion could dim your sight. One step toward obedience can ignite your destiny. Remember Lot's wife, rescued in body but bound in heart. Her backward glance cost her everything. The same warning stands: do not look back. The comforts of yesterday, the voices of compromise, they are not worth the blindness that follows. I once knew a man who grew tired of discipline and envied those who lived carelessly. He compromised once, thinking it harmless, and nearly lost his calling. Only through deep repentance was he restored, though the scars remained. What seems small today can echo through eternity. The prophet Hosea wrote in chapter 14 verse 9, "The ways of the Lord are right, the righteous walk in them, but the rebellious stumble in them."